I'm not sure if you realize, but I kind of like Sandhill Cranes. It's my understanding this brown that you're seeing, the rusty brown, is not natural coloration. It's something that the cranes, I guess they use dirt or whatever, and I'm not sure if the reasoning is fully known, or maybe that just help in terms of grooming, or I don't know. I think they're just beautiful. They're graceful. And, you know, quite honestly, as if, you know, you have missed the last few weeks, I went to see the Sandhill Crane migration in Nebraska a few weeks ago. And just because of the way our situations were and everything, I actually didn't have any honest to goodness good close-ups. Had what would have been good opportunities now and then, but the conditions were difficult. And so I'm getting a better look now than I was in terms of close-ups. I'm getting a better look now than I did back then. But in terms of seeing numbers, I definitely saw more in Nebraska. But I hope you're enjoying this too. We'll move on shortly. Again, I'm not sure if this is a second Sandhill Crane, or if if the first one we saw was in fact a different individual. I'm not sure. I had seen one and it was walking relative to us backwards, and I don't know where it is now, or if it is in fact this same bird, and maybe it flew when I didn't look and moved back ahead of us and now is here where we're watching it. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. I'm guessing that was a different one, and we are seeing two, or I should say we're seeing a second one. Well, if it's going to get closer, I don't mind. And we're benefiting from decent light. Oh, you know what? Is it going for a drink? It's going to be, if it keeps going in that direction, it might be difficult for me to stay with it. Okay, it's starting to move to an area that will be outside of good viewing for us. No sign of a second one. Not that I can see from where I am, and I can't move because I've got too many things in my way, and I don't dare change my setup here, but forgive me if you're bored seeing this, but we only get so many chances to see sandhill cranes well. Oh, what's going on here? I'm just trying to look back with the naked eye to see if the ibis is within view, and again I've got you know, parts of the car and everything that are in the way, so I can't really see very well. Just check on things. I'll try to keep the crane in view for a moment. I've got to check on a couple things. Again, looking. Oh, hold on a second. Well, I can see the ibis still back there. Barely see it, but I can see it. But again, I can't look back very well, but I don't see a second crane. And you know, I don't know what the story is. If there is a second crane or not. Usually, if we've seen two cranes, it's because they're close together and they're spending time near each other, but not today. And again, we saw one last week here. We only saw one. I'm not saying there was just one, but we saw one here last week in this stretch, and then it took off. And thinking, see, there's like a bulge in its throat. I think it swallowed something large, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, it took off last week and flew out of our view, and I later wondered, boy, there was just one. I wonder why. Usually, you know, you see them in pairs or whatever, and for one to be there by itself on Wildlife Drive seemed rather odd. But it might have been simply that there were two and I just didn't see the second one at all last week. And I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. So often when we do see them, they're at a distance and we don't get a good view for whatever reason, usually because of heat shimmer or look at all that mud. I mean, wipe your mouth. Usually there's heat shimmer, we don't get a good view, they're far too distant, so this is a bit of a treat actually. And we won't stay here all day, although maybe I could. I do wonder what exactly is it going for? That bulge seems to be slowly moving down its neck. If I'm not mistaken. often when we are watching them feed, we're seeing them maybe in a harvested cornfield, and we know what they're going after, the waste grain. This is a different experience, really. Oh my goodness, it's getting late. Just a few more moments and then I think we'll move on. This has been a real treat because we're getting a decent look, and we've got it without too much vegetation in the way or anything like that. We don't have a lot of heat shimmer, and I'm just enjoying it. Again, we're looking at a Sandhill Crane, though I believe I mentioned this last week, maybe it was the week before. That red cap we're seeing, that's skin, those aren't feathers. We've actually, in some ways, lucked out. It's even though it's breezy right now, just because I have the way I'm doing things within the car, we're not suffering from a lot of wind noise or anything like that. So we're kind of lucky right now. No, we're definitely lucky. Okay, so it's walking off. We'll watch just a little bit more, and I think we've got to get back underway. But this, in my opinion, has been wonderful. Okay, I think it's time for us to move on. I've really enjoyed this. Beautiful, elegant Sandhill Crane.